Hello and welcome to Salonediscoveries with me, Ibrahim Temukama. Today we decided a new Brookfields Hotel inside the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. They come up with their weekly press conference right inside Brookfields Hotel. Continue with us, we discover this together. Inside today's own press conference, we get to forget the main opposition party, we are the All People's Congress, and the ruling party, we are the Sierra Leone People's Party, we are the SLPP. And as well, we get to forget the US ambassador to Sierra Leone and the German ambassador to Sierra Leone, all get for witness inside this press conference. And as well, the committee will then be set up for look at the affairs will be happen inside 2018 general election and the 2023 general election, where we bring a lot of kuskas and disagreements in the country. Continue to us, we discover this together.
Today, about for stats, I also want for advice. Yes, sir. If you get your cell phone, please use the silence option or you turn it off. We let for get as few distractions as possible. For kindly ask that you turn your phone to the silence mode. Then we will. All right, it's exactly 2 p.m. by the 10, and I want to take this opportunity for welcoming all to this very, very special edition of the Ministry of Information and Civic Education in weekly press conference. What we will do specifically in partnership with the Cross-Party Committee on Electoral Systems and Management Bodies Review. This is a special edition we will do with the Cross-Party Committee, and I want to start by paying respect to the leadership of the committee, the 3 co-chairs them where I get the privilege for get today on this special panel. On the right, as you can see, we get Madam Seraphine Wakana, who is the resident coordinator for the United Nations in Salone. On the immediate left, we get Dr. Kaifala Mara, who is a co-chair and a representative of the All People's Congress Party, APC. And then at the end of this table, we get Dr. Emmanuel Gaima, who is the co-chair and they represent the government of Salone. As we all know, a few months ago, the government of Salone and the All People's Congress Party, with international partners, they've been signed they will get an agreement after a mediated dialogue between the government and the APC. And one of the resolutions then, now that His Excellency in consultation with the APC party, will constitute a cross-party committee on electoral systems and management bodies review with a 3-way leadership nominated by the government of Salone, the APC, and development partners. The body will examine the electoral system structures and processes of the 2023 multi-tier electoral cycle. The committee will also be informed by previous elections with a view for highlight and address the contentious issues of elections and results management, including collation, verification, authentication, and publishing of electoral data consistent with international best practice for enhance the credibility of all future elections in Salone, and that we will guarantee the election will be free, fair, and credible.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Allow me to stand on existing protocol. Good afternoon, all. It's an honor for me to be part of this press conference today, which intends to provide an update on the progress made by the Post-Party Committee on Electoral Systems and Management Body Review, which is one of the provisions of the Agreement for National Unity that was signed on 18 October 2023 between the government and the opposition, or People's Congress, APC. I'm also pleased by the achievement made so far by the committee under the co-leadership of two very capable co-chairs, Dr. Emmanuel Gaima and Dr. Kaifala Mara. The committee started its work at the beginning of January and concluded this first phase with an agreed terms of reference that define its scope of work for the next 5 months. I would like particularly to commend the core leadership and committee members for their capacity to remain engaged amidst divergences and sometimes strong views on each other positions, and to be able to mitigate their differences and close the gaps between the different approaches and positions in a constructive manner. I believe that this is a result that should be praised by all of us, as it is an important step toward the promotion of unity and national cohesion after a very divisive post-electoral period. As stated by His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio in his national address of 24 October 2023, reviewing the electoral system is critical to strengthening Sierra Leone's democracy. And indeed, the intended examination of the electoral systems, structures, procedures, and processes, once coupled with impactful electoral reforms that reflects international best practices, will help to strengthen institutions and sustain democratic governance in Sierra Leone. It is important to remark that the process of electoral reform is nationally owned, and committee members will carry out the work of the committee. The United Nations and development partners remain committed to supporting the implementation of the agreed TORs of the committee, as well as the entire agreement for national unity. The United Nations is not only represented in the Cross-Party Committee on Electoral Systems and Management Bodies Review, but we are also part of the team of moral guarantors of the entire agreement for national unity. I would like to take this opportunity to call on both the ruling and opposition parties to support the full implementation of the TORs of the committee, as well as to jointly contribute to diffusing tensions in communities across the country, advocating for national cohesion and unity, and explicitly and consistently countering the divisive ethno-regional discourse and hate speech that has prevailed during the electoral period and beyond. This remains crucial for keeping the spirit of the agreement of national unity alive. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Society representatives, distinguished guests, and members of the media, I join my co-chairs, Dr. Emmanuel Gaima of the government of Sierra Leone, and the UN resident coordinator, Ms. Seraphine Wakana, representing development partners, and my dear colleagues on the Tripartite Committee, to warmly welcome you all to this maiden press briefing of the Cross-Party Committee on Electoral Systems and Management Bodies Review, which we call the Tripartite Committee. Farm with them. As we all are aware, the June 24, 2023 elections will be end in a controversy and a standoff between the All People's Congress and government of Sierra Leone. The APC and many people believe say transparency not been there in the electoral process, in particular the tallying process. The deliberate refusal of the ECSL for publish the data, the results, we will help people then for examine the results, no go down well with the APC, many civil society groups, citizens of this country, and other institutions across the world. Because of this intransigence, because of this decision, where the ECSL take not for published results, after where many people, especially the APC, believe say irregularities will take place. Among many considerations, the APC decide not for participate in governance, especially in parliament and councils across the country. I'm sure we all be aware of that. Now, this standoff day, as a result of that, we get the international community, we've been so worried and concerned that they step in. Along with the bodies away there, with partners away there, the diplomatic community away there, we can get the Commonwealth, Secretariat, ECOWAS, the African Union, and the National Peace Commission have been come for mediate the dialogue between the APC and government. And we all recall that been take place in Bintumani from the 16th to the 18th of October 2023. That dialogue will be end with an agreement we all refer to as the Agreement for National Unity. That agreement for national unity get 8 resolutions. But we all now know that we, the Tripartite Committee, responsible for Resolution 3 alone. Waiting at this Resolution 3, I'm sure we all know, Mr. Minister don't make reference to them. But for me, I reiterate, we mandate get twofold. One, now for review, the 2023 elections, where the APC not really been pleased with, and continue not for pleased with. And 2, for me we take a look at previous elections. In the process, we get for look at the contentious issues. We get for look at the collation of results. We get for look at verification. We get for do with how they publish electoral results. Whether how they do things in electoral management is consistent with international best practice, and if you're not consistent, waiting the committee will recommend so that tomorrow future elections will be free, will be fair, will be credible, will be transparent. We all know, as Mr. Minister said, the cross-party gets 3-way leadership where they are, and we'll get equal representation at the committee, that now government and we 7-7, Mr. Minister don't show them, and we sister where they are, Seraphine Wakana, in the represent development partners as the co-chair. We start with work, as Madam Seraphine said, on the 19th of December. It meant we'll not get plenty time again, not to 6 months again. So therefore double effort. But today, we are a transparent body. We believe anything we do get for Canada the public domain. We get for take Sierra Leone along. We get for take partners along. So we not only sign the terms of reference today, but they show a little bit how far we don't go and which contain these terms of reference. But for sure now the work we don't do, not only we don't develop the terms of reference, and now explain to family where they far and wide for say, the terms of reference now the document where they guide the work of this committee, what we will do and how for do. In addition to that, we don't develop rules of proceedings, how we for conduct two meetings. We don't also develop a communication framework. We get for take the people of Sierra Leone along this transparent process. Anything where they happen, therefore be open for everybody for see. We don't hide anything. So we don't develop that. But we don't also develop a delivery framework. This delivery framework, they guide me, the nitty-gritties, how we work, for example, with the experts that will get for bring on board. This one therefore show timelines of the work. We'll get reset, deadlines will be set for ensure that we work within the time. And we'll also formulate a secretariat structure. We'll bring on board experts, for example, experts who are responsible for electoral laws, for local laws, experts who are responsible for elections management, and experts who are responsible for institutional reform. Because we think to say some of the institutions that we get for elections need some changes for me.
Dear family, my apologies for the voice because I traveled late, so that's a very bad voice. I want to stand on all the salutation protocols and all the protocols we, the brother Dr. Kaifala Marado, established in terms of salutation or greetings and for the opening. My family and I also were there on the 23rd of June 2023, on the 24th of June 2023. Salone do number 5 election after the war. I think as a nation, irrespective of the facts in the review, this is what two of us celebrate. That we don't do 5 elections after the war. It means as a country, we don't begin to move. Also, the other good news about that election is, after 60 plus years of this country, the memories have me well. And the first election now, we, the people of Sierra Leone, we put money inside, we run out for ourselves. We partner the help we, but when they help go to the other brothers and sisters there, we run NGO for do some element of voter education, civic education. So it focus on courage that perhaps very late, but it happened, not to alter before the wrong election and for himself. So for congratulate yourself and for tell we partners in Turkey, we that push we follow we not only responsible, but let we self begin take your responsibility into our hands since we say we're an independent state. Finally, we all know say we got that election. The election cycle of 2023, we based on the revised Public Election Act of 2022. Now revised Public Elections Act of 2022, now it's informal. In 2007, 2012, 2018, the European Union filled large number, close to 100 people. They got a long term, they got a long term, they got a short term. Each time when they done the election, they will make what they call elections recommendations. So when President Bill came, and with my humble appointment, it always say in embarrassed because in the political dialogue meeting, the European Union say, we can't spend money by elections, we're not going to take the recommendations seriously. So most of the recommendations of 2007, 2012, 2018, and they inform the Public Elections Act of 2022. So in a way, quietly, some form of electoral review will not start. So what we do at this committee, the committee make reference to the other day, we deepen now. We go deeper and we look at what's in the left. But don't also forget to say, in the lawmaking process, when we come out to government, we got a very important arm of government, under the legislature, under parliament. When government take bill, on a proposal to the house, it got to go lobby for them to pass. So tell them what the government will put, not to all to go pass. but most of the thing will pass. So government self will say, it may not have been a very perfect law, because me and I are coming in the process. Something that they will want to decide from the recommendation. Parliament, in its wisdom, like they normally say, they should say enough for the day. And I think my friend and brother, when I was chair about the lady, at some point they even asked me if my parliament had a vote. So whatever happened, we still use that election act there, plus the PPRC revised legislation. We also use the phenomenal GIWI Act, we made for the very first time in this country. We insisted in comfortable small students that get meaningful political representation across age and in the House. The election results will come out. I speak on behalf of government that the election results were pronounced a win for His Excellency President Julius Maada. And as per Constitution, Act No. 6 of 1991, the judiciary carried out one of its separate mandates for the swearing of His Excellency and the assumption of office. That will happen. Immediately after that, the ECSL, and there no brief for speak on behalf of them, the ECSL will publish some results like Gazette, or promised results like Gazette, for ordinary members of parliament, paramount chief members of parliament, councillors, chairmen, and mayors of Freetown. There was an expectation after that, say all man who win will go either to the council or to parliament. Our brothers and sisters in the All People's Congress issue a statement that they will undertake, quote, non-participation in governance. Having said that, His Excellency the President automatically realized this can be serious because governance is about inclusivity, it is about participation. But more importantly also, people have voted for people who have been declared winners. They need to take their places in the House. They need to take their places in the Council. So it starts for those rethinking. And that rethinking started in-house first. What do you do? It called members of government at higher level. They discuss and realize there may be need for look at the electoral architecture once more again. But family all will say, not only Salone, most parts of the world, electoral reform is an ongoing process. You cannot get it at a go all the time, one at a time. So, I want to realize, the co-chair Dr. Maradi's reference, His Excellency, the President, and the opening of this life of Parliament, it made pronouncement at Parliament. It said it will put together a committee for look at the electoral system in the country. At that time, it will nominate a vice president for chair. But shortly after that, when another state institution, or for comment, if you did it earlier, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, what they call Peace Commission for short, they decide for Stanford and gave to brother and sister in an APC. And they inform say, brothers and sisters in the APC, they want to discuss critical and burning issues pertaining to governance. Where on the side of government, we believe say, the Peace Commission, a product of the Lome Peace Accord, who we believe against Freetown should be proud of because it take before stop, but finally we don't get them. They were allowed to go ahead. And so they facilitate what to get the international mediated dialogue. But I believe say, if you don't get the people what I call from ECOWAS, the African Union, Commonwealth Secretariat, we self-believe in that process there. I think I will do most of the talk. And at this point, again, I want to join my brother for this special recognition to the elder brother, Neo, former boss, and leader of the APC, Dr. Samora Matukwisi Kamara, where he not only we did it, but he did it full soul for 3 days, and that gives back the people what I say to the agreement. Now, this tripartite agreement, we don't call the agreement for national unity. We go on Kuna way in the Bible. It ties down the people what I say to Resolution 3. And important, it don't clarify that, and I don't forget for that one. However, when we discussed, the idea was that the All People's Congress, through Dr. Samora Matukwisi Kamara, for them nominate to His Excellency the President, people left from the APC, and the President will use the nomination for constitute the tripartite committee or the three-way committee. But the President, looking at the nomination, and believing say there is need for more inclusivity and more participation, it is time to approve all the 7 nominees what they said. So therefore, the people that say, because they send 7, instead decide now still nominate 7 on the side of the government. So now so we get a magic number of 7 for the APC and 7 for the SLPP. I know I'm born now, where I don't report the progress we don't make so far. But I want also to say, the government of Sierra Leone firmly believe in this process, and because after the report recommendation will not be presented to the president, and the government going to say, for look at the implementation and the rolling out, the government will take all the residual functions as part of the effort of government for deepening and strengthening democracy, but also for strengthening democratic and national state institutions. Before they come, I will take leave of them. They tell me, say, this is good, we're not continue. Let the committee work so hard so that we're not going to make the same mistake all of the time.
Now, we don't reach the high point. I want to invite, they call themselves AFAN. Now we know the works of this committee are not small because I don't attend the meeting. The Honorable Alpha Sise and the Honorable Dr. Richard Conte, they call themselves Sise Conte Fan. And they will do the work really closely together. I want to put your hands together for them to very fine statement. So we can do the official signing. So when I come on this side, we'll do the official signing. So then we'll lead the process. The 3 co-chairs and they sign and initial every single document based on what they explain to Winaya. And we will see the 2 results of collaboration and patriotism over what we know say, yes, difficult, contentious issues, but we will, as Sierra Leoneans, for put aside all our interests so we will lift Salone above all else. So now we will witness the official signing. Honorable Alpha Sise, I think we'll get some press people in so you can do on the side, so you say exactly. Exactly, so you say with the exactly frame. So they give a chance, now this will come from in the sign, then there will be no paper, then there will be no page, and sign and initial every single page. So we are all now the witness. The people of Salone will watch this. Now the witness. We did live on every single major media house that is concerned. I want to tell thank you to the media partners. I tell thank you to particularly the community radio stations that we carry live and every single corner of Salone today. And then we see what's in our today and the work of this committee. I want to remind the members of the 4th Estate or other citizens that we get questions that as usual, we get an online platform, the QR code on the advert we put out. If you get a question, if you get more than one question, send the question on the online platform and I will get an IR and I will ask her. If you get a question, because we're not going to call them all now, we get a question now. But I encourage you, so if you get a question, go online, commitments will get to ask 100% of the questions that I ask. Anybody send a question, as long as you don't insult, you don't go completely out of line, we're respectful when they ask that question. So if you do not after the signing, I can open up for questions. But for Una, we don't come to the press conference to make I tell you one thing the rules. Today, we get 3 superstars and 3 superstars alone. Without the co-chair. Nobody really use this platform for let on celebrity. And we want on celebrity to create you. Yeah, you ask question. Straight up, you ask the question, we'll give you the mic, then we collect, we get the answer, the co-chair they will answer to the questions in a very peaceful manner. So they avoid long preface. We already know the preface, now they don't give speech there, they don't tell you all the background. You point out for seek clarification and ask quick question.
We don't do a good work as a committee. We don't agree, say, we'll get for take a look at election results. No, no preempting, let the results come, we look at. I think we'll get more than 2 million people will vote, not so? 2 million people will vote. Then vote, a good number not satisfied on the APC side. The reason why we sit down here forget this review and why they get this meeting this afternoon for informed Sierra Leoneans, now because something happened when not be right. And as my brother said, he said the president don't make a commitment for support the recommendations of the committee. Me, now professional. I did do my recommendations based on the findings. Let the result then come out look at. Based on the findings, we don't make recommendations. Whatever that recommendations get for me, it get for me based on the findings. So the same
members of the committee for camp. It's been only in the committee, so I come on the picture. The co-chairs them, they will lift up the paper that they don't sign. Alright, I asked the co-chair them. Sorry, Uncle Amamile, sorry. I want the co-chairs to be together. Maybe, yes, actually, you be one, next one, yeah, sorry. Yeah? Alright. Alright, I want to all smile. Cheese, everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll put two hands together again one more time for them. Thank you very much. Alright, it's brilliant.
From whether election for Egon or not for Egon. But then, waiting when they assure this country that whatever recommendations will come out of this committee, when I'm implementing and I'm going to sit down for the international committee, I'm pushing again for that. Because all the time I do so in the international committee, I'm pushing for that. Which kind for make not pay backlog to people that will be done, will be from the opposition. We will not be going to parliament for 3 months. Wait until the challenge will make not pay the up tonight. Thank you.
For Concord Times. This question will go for Dr. Mara. Now, the work of the committee, now for serve the interest of the country, right? As you say. Now you represent APC. How you go strike a balance between the interests of the country and the party?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, sir. From an historical perspective, the APC and SLP will always be the same. Too much theories, but nothing fundamental to the interest of the people there. Now, people there say, but all the people are not in there. Why, if at all in the near picture, now we use the Political Party Regulation Commission as a whip because trust is lost to the politicians in this country saying, we will agree today, tomorrow is another index. Thank you, sir.
Because the review process involves subjecting the ECSL election data to examination, yes or no. And lastly, I would love to know whether that document you just signed will be made publicly available.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Conan. Because of the standoff Now that make the international community see reason for coming inside. And that's not a responsibility. But for we as the APC, nobody knows for pushing. Now we want this thing. That is why we bend backwards on many occasions, just because we want to make a country go before. We do look forward, for example, for my government implement the other resolutions that I don't just mention. As I create the indulgence, I ask them, and I'm happy this afternoon. My brother say, President Bio say, he committed to this process. Me, I want to see by tomorrow, what the Secretary General don't ask law firm teams, so that on the inside, we will begin to take a look at what we will do for prisoners, what we will do for the politically motivated, and many others, so that we will clear the door before we come to the recommendations of the tripartite committee. Nobody not get for push we get for push ourselves, because we believe this is critical to the democracy of this country, and we believe to say that the right thing for do. Now we say we come up with a framework through which we give targeted timelines for deliver. We don't want to push beyond 6 months. We want the outcome now, we want the result now, and we believe say the commitment with APC and the government don't make, it will come to fruition.
His Excellency the President, the facts say it dismantled a young committee where announced at the Honorable House of Parliament. The facts say it removed the Honorable Vice President, who had already announced in the House of Parliament before both national and international media and our international partners able to tell her to step aside and for accept to win her for stay at this process is marked demonstration of commitment to the process. So if that is not something that can give solace, then I want to support me on Kurianda about the issue of the trust deficits in our society. But I want to say the President, and I mentioned it 2 or 3 times in the presentation, the President remains committed to the process. Let's wait for the report. The Minister is more authoritative. We'll talk to the issue of the MPs and the payments. On the issue of the international community, I want to say categorically no. Unawi gets access to them, I will tell them. Even before the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion came on Peace Commission, His Excellency had already discussed and would already put an address to Parliament as early as end of June for say it gets a committee for review the architecture. Waiting the international committee perhaps too, they were invited for to become mediators, and they were also invited as co-chairs, and they were also invited as moral guarantors. When something good in our country, long talk. The leadership of the country, now first thing say, maybe something wrong. Something we need to look at the system. We need to make sure say the issues they probably will not address in the new law and the electoral system, and also we observe say now during the electoral cycle we even decide for honor the constitution for stop for calling agency NEC to ECSN by constitutional instrument. So quite a few things passed quickly in the electoral cycle during that last parliament, because there are parliamentarians here. Towards the close of parliament, a lot of things passed. So I could categorically say no, it is an inborn, homegrown presidential initiative, but the partners were called on board to be part of it.
I also want to encourage, see, one, when Dr. Marabi talk about CSOs, he talk about all sections of society for take blame. The irony is that some people they clap. You will clap, you say for take blame. You say for part of the problem. The answer they will give we get one section will clap for one set of answer, one section will clap for another set of answer. At the end of the day, you know go pick and choose the answer we want. When Dr. Maya or Dr. Gaima give one set of answer we want, I make them not call on and say, we not listen to the committee. This country now will all get now one kind country we get. And Salone big pass everybody now. Now make we all day now today, we dey try for make let things go forward. The old boss they used to say the thing about democracy in the first 100 years. What's that mean? Democracy is a slow, long, painful process. This today we do so now a sign of progress in our democracy. That we can disagree but we can table and sign and agree on things and move forward. And that thing for applaud. We're not there because we agree. We all not agree on every single word. We bother say notice disagreements. That's the point. Very good there. Because we need disagreements there. But we get for continue for work through the disagreement and the way to don't see today, that a commitment. So I want to join them for call on the people of this country. No, pick and choose the outcome we want. Let me support them for the outcome when they work together for move this country and democracy go before.
Now so the weekly press conference become to an end where una don hear from the two sides them and as well representatives them where be present now this weekly press conference where the Ministry of Information and Civic Education they come with every weekend. Plenty thank you when you take the time where we discover this together, and plenty thank you to all the people who come now this particular press briefing. We are in the ambassador, the US ambassador be present here today, and the German ambassador to Sierra Leone self be there also today, and all top dignitaries, officials from both home and abroad themselves be there also today. And plenty thank you to the camera operator Abu Bakar Tarali, and plenty thank you to the executive producer Dr. Aisatu Kake Jalo. So we'll meet again for another exclusive Salone Discoveries. Me na Ibrahim Temu Kamara, the report. Hello.